let's make a Gothmas wreath. It's a busy time of year, so I thought it would be fun if we worked on a quick and relatively simple project together just in time for Christmas. I'm going to be making a Gothmas wreath, but I'm going to be modeling this wreath off of one that I had made previously, and I'll show that to you. And it is this one here. Yes, very white, very winter, very chic, very snowy, very not Gothmas. So I thought my door needed a bit of an upgrade. So I'm going to do something very similar to this, but more in a darker color scheme. And I'm going to show you what I purchased for that so that you can follow along. And if you want to make something that's more of your color scheme, like white like this, or red or purple or blue or whatever the heck you want to hang on your door, you can do that too. So the first thing that you're going to need is a wreath form. I picked up this one here from Lens Mills, which is sort of a outlet store here in Canada, in Ontario. And you can get things that are less priced than some of the other big box craft stores around. But the only thing with this wreath that I found, it is that it's only 13.8 inches. It is a 2-inch wreath. So it's not going to be as large as the one I had made previously. However, the actual diameter of the inside is pretty spot on. So the only difference is that this one is more of like, it was square. So this one's more square and this one is rounded, but you're still going to get the same effect. So no matter what you find. So the other things I got for this project were some faux flowers, fake flowers. I picked these up on discount at Michael's after Halloween, and I love the colors on these. They're just so vampiric, Gothic, you know, that kind of color scheme with the black and gray. We got some silver, we have some reds. They had some lovely purple ones as well, and they were on for half price. I could have bought a whole bunch more, and in fact, I have utilized some in my set already with these really cool beakers that I got at the same time. So you'll need some fake flowers or whatever you want to decorate your wreath with. I also picked up some black ribbon, so we're going to use that. And the other thing that you'll need for this is some thicker yarn. So I really like the Woolies Thick and Quick because it is really thick. It's a number 6 on the bulky side of things. And because of the technique that we're going to use, we want the strands to be nice and thick. If you have something thicker, that will also work. I just like this yarn, so I will be using it. I'm of course using black, but again, if you want to make yours a different color, do what suits your color scheme and what you think is best for you. The first thing I want to do is paint my styrofoam wreath form. And the reason I want to do that is it's white. The yarn I'm using is black. On the previous rendition that I made of this wreath, it's really difficult to see because this is white underneath. This is also white on top. So if a bit of this shows up, you're not going to see it very much. However, with this being white and my yarn being black, you're definitely going to see it if a bit of the white's poking through. So I want to paint the styrofoam with some acrylic paint just so that when I do eventually wrap it with the wool, that you don't see that styrofoam poking through there. I'm going to try to dry this and hope I don't melt the styrofoam. So I'm going to move this aside and let it dry while we work on the next step. To cover the wreath, we have a couple of options. I'm going to be creating a knitted I-cord to wrap around my wreath form, but you could also braid your yarn together, like take a few strands of yarn and braid those together to create a longer, thicker piece of yarn or rope yarn to wrap around the wreath form. So up to you, depending on whether you can knit or not. I will be showing you how I do the I-cord, so you can follow along and do that if you like. So let us do that. To do an I-cord, we want 2 of these. Double pointed needles is the easiest way to do this. To start, we're going to cast on 4 stitches. So we've cast on our 4 stitches. So we are going to knit 4. This is where the double pointed needles come in handy, because then you just slide this down to the end here. And coming in the other side, so this end piece that was on the other end, your working yarn, is going to come around to the front. And then you're going to knit 4 again. When you finish your row, you slide to the end. And then you knit 4 again. And then you keep doing this until you have a length long enough to wrap around your wreath a bunch of times to cover the whole thing. By the end of the first day, I had knit an entire ball of yarn and had approximately 20 feet of I-cord, and then discovered it would not be enough to cover the entire wreath form. So my brain decided that dyeing some lace in burlap black might be a good alternative instead of just knitting some more I-cord. Thanks, brain, for that little side quest. Ultimately, I did end up knitting more I-cord, but I also did use the lace, so it wasn't a complete waste of time. It took me a little bit of extra time, but I finished all the I-cord to go around this wreath. Let me tell you, that is about 30 feet worth. So the original ball that I had knitted up was about 20 feet-ish, and then I just did another 10 more feet. I think that's enough from what I was guesstimating. So yeah, 30 feet. That's how much you need. And I also attempted to dye some lace and the burlap with some of the Rit dye in black. I felt like this I probably could have left in longer. I did kind of run it through the washing machine and it destroyed the burlap. So don't do that. I think if you're dyeing it, you just want to let it sit. It did dye really well. It just smelled awful and was starting to fall apart. So I threw it out. And now I have this lace that I got from the dollar store. So there wasn't really much on the little spools. But the gray actually goes, like, it's not terrible. So we'll see if I actually use it or not. But I have some of this dyed. It'll give it a little bit of different contrast, I think. So that might actually not be too bad. So we are going to attach the I-cord to this with some hot glue. Ooh, just enough. Ta-da! So now comes the fun part where we get to decorate our wreath after all of that. I have these faux flowers that I got on sale around Halloween, so I'm going to use those. I'm adding some ribbon to this lace just to give it a different kind of look. This is the part where I need to resist going, oh my gosh, does that look okay? That's not gonna look okay, and just kind of go with my gut on what I think with these things, because I can overthink things, and I'm bound to overthink this. Note to self, figure out where you want this before you glue down your I-cord. So far, I really like it. I just want to add more flowers, kind of down this way. See if I can fill it out a little bit more. I really want to have that one. I feel like we need that one. Oh yeah. Yes. Oh, I love that. What do we think? I'm happy with the way this turned out, and I'm excited to hang it on the front door and see how it looks. So that's my new Gothmas wreath. Let me know down in the comments if you would try to make one of these wreaths, and if you would have stopped at just this amount of flowers, or if you would have went all out and added a whole bunch more. If you want some more fun, whimsical Gothic decor, you should watch this video next. My name is Pam, and this is Total Pamarchy, the craft channel with a little anarchy. We like to be a little bit weird here, so if that's your thing, please consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!